there, crafty friends. Happy Christmas in July. I'm Michelle Suit, Suitably Stamped in Manassas, Virginia, and we are going to be making the 4 cards that we did at this month's class for Christmas in July here at my place. So I'm going to go through them with you. I'm going to give you all the details, and yeah, we'll kick start it, and I'll let you know what we're going to do next. All right, here we go. So when you get your packet, you're going to have a full pack of the Stitched Season Designer Series paper. Totally gorgeous. We're going to look at that in just a sec. You're going to get a full roll of the red and white baker's twine, and you'll get a full pack of these really cool sticky back buttons. They're adorable. They have a little shimmer on the edges of them. Really, really cute. So you'll get all of that in your kit plus your card kits. We're going to take those apart one by one, and I'll show you what's going to be in yours. Now, I tried to focus this class on one bundle or a suite, and I ended up pulling sentiments from some other stamp sets. So I'm going to tell you the ones that I used, but this is the one that the paper is bundled with. It's called Stitched Stockings, and it has some really stinking cute stamps in here with great sentiments. It's got some quilt squares in here. You could do all kinds of things with this, and scrapbooking, not only card making. So really, really good. Some edge pieces that I love, and always my favorite too from stamps that I tag on all of them and have them so I know where they are when I'm ready to do gifts. And the dies on the back come with a big stocking. There's a bunch of different stitch patterns in here. Everything is stitched, obviously, and so this is what I had to pair along with this, only for the sentiments though, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, the other ones I'm going to show you which sentiments I chose for different cards, and you can use any ones that you would like. So let's take a peek at this paper first. This is absolutely stunning quilted paper. It's beautiful. You've got real red cherry cobbler, you've got crumb cake, some garden green or peaceful pine. Let me look. Let's look on the back and make sure. Real red, secret sea, pecan pie. Oh, I was wrong. It wasn't crumb cake. Pecan pie, I stand corrected. Old olive and cherry cobbler. But this isn't old olive. This looks like peaceful pine, so I'm going to go with that. Anyway, those are the colors that coordinate with this particular set of designer paper. And all of these squares, you can use them as a full sheet. Obviously, you can go through and cut them up, which is what we're going to do. And yeah, so lots of possibilities. On the back of this one, you've got a beautiful green plaid. Always love a plaid. Then you've got this one with the cardinals. I had a lot of people just so excited about these, because these cardinals, they look like they're quilted. They're really, really cute. Those. And then on the back of this one, we've got some red with candy canes. So even if you don't want to use the cardinals, you could always use candy canes. All right, so that's those. Then we've got this with this beautiful secret sea background here. Really, really pretty with the quilted Christmas trees. Love the way that coordinates. On the back of this one, just a little, this reminds me of when I used to sew, getting some calico prints to use on quilts. This one reminds me of that. It's just a real red with little dots on there. So really, really cute, very versatile. Gotta love the B sides of the paper. This one's a larger quilt print, so really, really good for home decor. This would be such a simple one to use for home decor because it's already quilted. You just have to go in and decorate on top. So back of this one, we have this really pretty one here. It's got some florals in there, and the leaves are actually in Secret Sea. So it all just blends beautifully together. Those. And then this big, large, honkin' Big Daddy quilt square. Really cute again. Great for home decor, scrapbooks. On the back, one of my favorite prints. This is Secret Sea, this blue in the back, with snowflakes. Really cute. That one. And then again, did I pull this one out? Oh no, this is a different one. A different quilt square where you can cut them out again. And on the back, this has some stinking cute little holly on there. So really, really fun. All right, so you're going to want to pull your paper out, pull out your paper trimmer, and we are going to cut a few things, not too many, a few things out. And all of your your die cutting and things should be done for you in your kit, but we're going to go through them together, and we're going to start with card number 1, which is Santa's face. Look at that. Isn't he cute? Aww. And then on the inside, you've got, "May your Christmas be merry and bright." Now this one was one of the last ones I did, and I wanted to use this sentiment. It was one I had picked out at the very beginning, but I didn't make the card till last. And it is from Woodland Wishes. This one is brand new. It's one of the July online exclusives. And here's that sentiment over here. But you can see it's just really, really cute. Great opportunity for coloring if you want. This would be great to do for color sheets for kids. You could stamp these in Memento and just hand them some crayons and let them go to town. So really great set. All right, so let's get started with Santa's face. Okie doke, so let's get started with what you'll need supply wise. So here are my suggested tools, and it's just tools, I guess, and your adhesives, but you can use whatever adhesives make you happy. I'm comfortable with these, but you can use whatever you choose. So you're going to want some mini glue dots. That is for our ribbons and bows, like on Santa's hat. That's always a good thing to have around, our mini glue dots. You're going to need some scissors, a bone folder. You're going to have a take your pick tool with at least a pokey tool, or one of the pokey tools from before. And in these cards, there's going to be one where this putty end is going to come in real handy. So keep that in mind if you've got one of those. Then I've got some Wink of Stella. Always use Wink of Stella, a little shimmer. I've got 2 out here of the new Stampin' Up! White gel pens, and I love them. They were both in my pack, and I just threw them both out here. You don't need 2, you just need 1. You don't even have to have 1 if you don't want. A small blending brush, or you can use a large one if you'd like, whatever you blend color ink with onto cardstock. I've got some Tombow ink, and then I've got myself some Stampin' Seal Plus, which is one of my favorites. So we're going to get started with the first kit right here, and that is going to be Santa's face. So when you get your kit, you'll see it's labeled. It'll have which card it is, and in the kit you also get, I got to pull that one out for you, you're going to get a copy, the color copies of each of the cards, okay? So you'll have the video and an up close and personal picture of the cards you're making. So you'll go through and find the one we're making, which is Santa's face. And you can leave this out on your table with you and help you know it is true to size, because I did it on my copier, but just keep this beside you as a reference point and you'll be totally fine. All right, I should put warning labels on these card kits, because there are lots of bits and bobs and pieces and all kinds of things. So please, please, please take your time when you open your kit and just pour everything here in front of you first, okay? And then I'll show you what I do with mine. Now you're going to be making 3 each of the 4 designs, okay? So in here I've got kits for 3 copies of this, and the pieces are, when we were sorting them, they can be in any of the 3 cards. So you're just going to pull everything out and you can lay them out for each card. I'm only going to pull out some things for one, because this is going to go to one of you who will be lucky enough to get it in your kit. I don't know who, it will be random. So just know that as I'm making these cards, somebody's going to get a full card. So that's a bonus, I guess. So I have a little dish here when I'm doing especially punch art. I like to have a little dish on my desk to keep parts and pieces in it. And that's totally true for these cards, because we have lots of things. So in the Santa's face card, I tried to keep everything for one card inside the red, only because I wanted to give you the kind of the 411 on like where the eyes, which circles to use for the eyes, and the, you know, I know it can be obvious, but I wanted to make sure that you were comfortable. So you've got 3, you'll have 3 circles like this that have been embossed. One of them is already cut in half. That's what you're going to do with all of them, because that makes Santa's mustache, okay? Just going to slice it in half. Then you've got some torn pieces here. These are a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of basic white, embossed, and they're torn into strips for Santa's hat, fur, and then for his beard down at the bottom, okay? And I just went through and randomly tore them. You can go back and tear them smaller. You can do, you know, cut them straight if you'd rather. You can do whatever you would like to do with them. But these are already embossed in your kit for you. So you will have 2 each for each card, okay? That makes sense, I hope. All right, it looks like I gave extras in this kit. All right, then you've got a piece of, oops, come here. The beautiful Petal Pink. This is for his face, and this is the one we're going to use the blending brush on. So keep that up front. You've got a piece of basic white for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. Then you have, for each card, you will have two small dots right there. You're going to have 2 of these 3/4 inch dots, and you're going to have 1 1-inch dot for each card, okay? Then you'll have 1 of the 3/4 inch circles in Petal Pink, and I already put these 2 together in the kit, but these are 1 of the black circles and 1 in pink. This is forming his mouth, okay? So it'll go like this. So this is the inside of his mouth, and then this is the shadow at the bottom, his bottom lip, okay? So those should be already together. Then you'll get 3 of the peppermint swirls that go on that 1-inch circle. Let me stick these in the other kit because I don't need those. Okay, so let's get started with building. Now on mine, you may notice I used a blending brush at the top here. I blended it with some Real Red and Cherry Cobbler ink just to give it a little dimension. That's absolutely optional. I'm not going to do it to this one. I'll show you the difference. Then we're gonna start with blending out our face and building that, and then we'll start building the face with the fur and the beard next. Okay, so I'm going to get my blending brush, and make sure you feel free to stop and pause and do your thing when you need to. You don't have to keep up with me, okay? Because I don't want to take a lot of time and make a long video, because I know that gets really boring, but I will be kind of continuing to move it along, so just so you know, feel free to pause. All right, so I've got my Petal Pink ink and a blending brush. I'm using a small one, and I'm just going to go in and do some little circles on my ink pad, pick up some ink, and I'm going to always start off my piece that I'm blending on, because I want to see how much ink I have on there. Now, you know, when we stamp, we always stamp in the middle of the ink pad, right? So if you're blending, sometimes it's nice to go to the edges, and see how it evened out my ink pad there? It's not as bright in the middle, and you'll pick up some more like that. All right, so for his cheeks, we're just going to go on either side, and I'm just going to do some circles like so. Doesn't have to be anything special, just some circles for his little rosy cheeks, like that. Okay, and then you'll take the little Petal Pink nose, let's scoot that over, the Petal Pink nose, and I'm just going to put some at the top half. That'll be the little cherry nose, like that, okay? Now you can do all 3 at once. You can do 1 and then go back and make them, you know, after you've done your samples, whichever you prefer, but we're just going to do this one. All right, once I have this, I'm going to go ahead and glue in the inside of my card. So you can do that, or you don't have to. You can stamp first, put yours in second, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm living on the wild side here. And I apologize for my shaky hands. I have a shaking condition, and it's kind of, it comes and goes, and it's totally here right now, so I apologize. All right, so here's the inside of this card. So on the outside, we've got the red already on there for Santa's hat, so we don't have to do anything to that unless you want to go in and add dimension. Then you've got some pieces of your cardstock, your white cardstock. Sorry, I was looking in the other direction. And like I said, you can make this as thin or as fat as you want for your Santa hat. Totally up to you. That's going to go here. This will go underneath everything here. So we'll push that up under there. I'm just doing a kind of a dry run to start, like that. And then the one on the bottom, I'm gonna pull one that already has a straight edge. If there's one in here. If not, you can just trim off one edge and make it flat across the bottom. Here's one. And I put lots of extras in there. All right, so there's that. And you can use it either way you want. You can do it debossed or embossed, where it's popped up, or it goes down into the fibers, like so. Okay, I don't know, let me see. I think I like it debossed on there. That's kind of cool. Wait, I don't know. No, I'm gonna do it like this. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, we got those situated. We're gonna go ahead and glue the face part on. So whatever your adhesive is, go ahead and, whoops, glue this on. I do this all the time to myself. I forget which ones I'm using. And this one, you definitely have to use it straight up and down. It works so much better. So if I lay it down flat like I used to with our old adhesive, it does not work as well. All right, so I'm gonna put this one down here, right about there. Yep, right there, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and put my bottom piece on here. So just put some adhesive across the bottom. Doggone it, I did it again. All right, I'm using liquid glue because this will be a long day for you and me if I keep doing it, doing it that way. All right, so I'm gonna put this one on here, right, like this, and this will go over top the bottom edge of his face. Come on, you're stuck. Get off there. Scooch. Whoops, I got a little too far up. Let me see if this one is taller. Oh, it is, perfect. So like I said, you can play with it, and I know everybody has white cardstock. If you don't like the way I did it, you're welcome to make your own beard. All right, we've got that. Now I've got a piece that's got the fur on the top and the bottom, and that's gonna be the part here. But I wanna take this little edge off here. I don't like the way that's crooked. I mean, I know it's crooked because it's torn, but it looks a little better like this. Now, to start, I'm only gonna put adhesive on the top half, because I'm going to be putting the eyes under this, layered under this. So I'm going to put this down right about here, like so. Okay, so we've still got a little room in there to put the eyes on there. So for the eyes, you've got the 2 3/4 and then the 2 1/2-inch circles, the black and the white. Come here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, not much. You don't want a whole lot because it'll smush out. And then put it with a little bit of a border at the bottom. That way he looks like he's looking straight ahead. I mean, you could do one up and one down, then he looks like he's crazy. Or maybe he is, because it's almost time for Christmas or something. You never know about Santa. All right, so there we go. There are the eyes. Gotcha. Now, before I put these on, I'm going to take one of my white gel pens. Let's see, this is a 0.5 and a 0.8. I think I'm going to use, let me see if the 8 will be nice to me today. Yeah. All right, I'm going to do a little life light in his eyes just over here on the left side. So I'll do a little curve and then a little dot at the end, like that. And you want to do them on the same side of each eye. You don't want to do one on one left and then one right. You want to have them both on like the left side is what I chose. Put this here, that there. Okay, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now I did put a little bit of Wink of Stella on his eyes and made a little twinkle. You can do that if you'd like, totally up to you. So then I'm going to place the eyes on the face up here towards the top. And I just want a flat little layer of glue. I don't want a whole big glob, okay? Let me get take your pick. It's easy to pick these up and slide them underneath the fur there. Make sure I got it straight. There we go. And we'll do this one. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Come on. Got a little bit of torn edge so it doesn't want to play. There we go. And then let me get that turned a little bit. So see with the green glue, you've got a little bit of extra time. We call it extra wiggle room. I don't know why. All right, there we go. That looks good. All right. Now I'm going to put on the mustache next, and that means I need this circle. So we will take our circle, and I'm going to cut it in half, and you can do it with whichever you would like, stripes up, stripes down. They're just curves, so no biggie. So for this piece, I wanted to make the mustache a little 3D, not a lot, because, you know, mailing, but I only glued it here on the inside corners, not out here. So you can pop this a little bit, or you could pop it up on dimensionals if you want to live bravely. So I'm going to do that, but I don't want to put a ton of glue up in here because I'm going to slide the mouth up under there. Okay, so let's put these guys on. So which one? So I went this way. Make sure I have it the right way. Put a little bit here. Give it a little bit of a curve. I'm not going to use my bone folder because I don't want it to be that deliberate. So then I'm going to put this over here towards the middle. Kind of want to have them meeting where the center of his face will be, or under his nose, right there. Okay, and then we'll do the other side. So let's see. Do it this way. Curve it a little bit, and then glue it down. Oh, I did that backwards. Oh, Michelle, see, I knew I would get it backwards. Oh, now you know. Now you know what not to do. All right, so got that right there. All right, now I have his mustache on. I'm going to bring in those little pieces that made up his mouth, the 2 3/4 inch circles. And again, you want the pink on the top, the black on the bottom. And all I did was glue them together, leaving a little edge of the black showing. Okay. Now I cut mine in half. If you would rather put it all the way up under there, you can. It just depends on how you put the mustache on yours. Totally up to you. So I cut mine in half and did a mouth like so. Now I'm going to put some glue, and then try to tuck it up under here. Oh my gosh, my hands are ridiculous today. Some days are better than others with them, let me tell you. Does anybody else have that? I know one of our Stampin' Up! People from Canada, Dale, who's not with us anymore, he retired, he had the same thing. And he always told me he did videos and then did a ta-da, you didn't have to watch his hands. But I want you to see what I'm doing. All right, so let's get a dimensional for that nose right there. I'll put that on like so. All right, isn't he cute? I just love him. All right, so for his nose, I did a little white line for a highlight at the top. Like so. And I used a little wink. If you want to use that, you can do that. Then we're going to do our peppermint. So you have a 1-inch circle, a white circle, and you have the stripes for the peppermint candy. Okay, you should have 3 of those in your kit, 1 for each card. So I'll put that down. I'm just going to do a little dot on each of the little legs, like so. And then, oh, come here. Be my pal today. Oh, the fan's on, that's why. It's blowing it. Let me block it. Shoot. It's almost 100 degrees outside, so I gotta have the fan on. All right, so there we have magical peppermint. Ta-da! All right, now for mine, oops, I scooched it just a touch because my finger got stuck with the glue. For mine, I go back and I added wink on the red parts. You can do that, or you don't have to. Again, totally up to you. So I'm going to put this on with a dimensional. I only need 1 really for this one. Just going to decorate his hat. And then you will pull out your red and white baker's twine. You got a whole spool, so you should be good. Now, we had some people who pulled it off by the little end and some people who just gave up and pulled it out. Whatever floats your boat. So I found the end. I'm just gonna pull that out. For this one, I did a little double bow here. So for that, I just pulled some out, folded it in half, like so. And then I'm just gonna tie a bow like normal, but you'll have 2 strands instead of 1. There we go. And you can make it as big or as little as you would like. Whoops, that guy got ripped off. Sorry, buddy. Your loop was messy. There we go. All right, got that. So then I'm going to trim the ends. Whoop, circle's still stuck to my snips. We do have new scissors in stock. If you have not gotten them yet or you wanted new snips, they're not called snips anymore, they're just called scissors. But we do have those on the website, so check those out. They are back. There was quite the uproar when they went away, but it wasn't possible to keep what we had. We had to go with something else. So, oops, that's a little wonky. All right, trim your bow as you see fit. Oh, I got glue on there. Come on. There. Okay, so this is where we're going to use a mini glue dot. Right here. I always like to put it on the dot and pick it up from the dot instead of picking the dot up and trying to deal with it with my finger. That is it's no bueno. No bueno. All right, there we go. And then this will go right here in the center, like so. And there you go. That is Santa's face. You did it. Now, if you would like, you can go back with your Wink of Stella and decorate on this one. I went in and added some sparkle to his hat and his the fur. And the way they were asking me at class how I do my when I sprinkle things like that, I have to make sure I have a really good full Wink of Stella. And if I don't, I just reload. That one's pretty good. But if you need to reload, you just go on the 2 sides of the barrel there. It says push, and it will release some of the sparkle juice from up here. There's a little bit there. There we go. You don't need much. That was a little too much, actually. I could do lots of cards with that. But I take my lid. Some people take it and they tap it like this. I don't get good coverage when I do it. I got some, but not a whole lot. I like to take it on the inside of the lid here, and I just flick it like this. And it comes off the end of the brush, like that. And if you need more, go back, recharge, and do some more. However you like your Santa. All right. We did it. That's card 1. So we're going to move on to card 2. That will be in the next video. So hang tight. Come meet me there and we'll get going. All right. Thanks.